Salima District, one of Malawi's beautiful lakeshore districts. The district sits on a 2,196 square kilometer land and has a population of over 250,000 people. Like many people in Malawi, most of its people live below the poverty line and rely on seasonal agriculture. With the increasing effects of climate change, such as floods, erratic rainfall, and sometimes drought, it is always hard for these people to be guaranteed the next source of food and income. If floods do not wash away their crops, houses, and other properties, then it is likely that floods would destroy majority of the crops, rendering the people food insecure and with less economic power. This is Lifidzi River, and by November 2013, it was not full of life. Communities, however, share with us that when the area experiences a lot of rains, it floods, and people downstream are heavily affected. Communities of Sando village under Group Village Headman Changoima organized themselves to divert water from the river, install canals, and irrigate their crops at a scheme named Kungoni. As a way of harvesting the water, they constructed a water holding structure known as a weir upstream, which was constructed with a technical expertise from Kupi. It takes the water to the scheme through the canals, and it uses gravity force.
Tidayamba kwambira wonkuri limangogira kwaifero kakuri urenge tsinje rubirise buntu ndeno kena kubona uri tilona ura ndikukumba nditu takumba ngala ndimonga monera kujako kena dana ura ndibwino tabira ku office ya monga kwa agriculture ndegera kudabira kwa agriculture kuja lamuvisa nangizamba mtengo wagwa kubeza uri dalendetsa dongosolo koma sizi mabwezo tsali kena kudabira kuchivoka kuibye ndakuma ndigwengwe umene kwadali pasakara kuti mungopita kudisi kusalima mafuta wati makumana ndenja ndenchite kuthandiza ndipathetsa mafuta ndenja chiro imene lithandiza kuthetsa mafuta njala ndimene muonera ndimene likambapitsa fera kuti muzimanga.
This is Kungoni scheme. On this day of visit, we find men and women clearing the land, with others making ridges. Most of them explain that as long as water is available, they will never experience food shortages and are hoping for the better. They also explain challenges they face because of the weather conditions.
Ndalama ngisi foreza lobwete ndalama kwatu ndije ngiriza libeze ndalama kwa foreza otu obo no mati batandito makumba limodzi sira tujaga vura kwatu ndamene ono sa usuguluso odivura kuti opposite chifo yosandalama kuyi ante yamene jamvulaji kulira bulula takulo yose obo ndasema vura ngere ngere tandize kutokolo kwaga
popeza njalai pameli makumba kuti njala itafika kale ndiye kumwambirira kuno koyambirira tizako chimanga kuti chitithandizire vuto limene ladzala njala koma siku imene iliona kuti lipindulira kutsogoloku polima mbewu zosiyana-siyana monga tomato ndi mbewu zina zamasamba monga ndiwo zamasamba tanaposi ngakhalenso mpunga umene tidzakhala kulima ndithu chimanga chidzakhaso mgulu momwe cholinga chathu kuti kumbala ya chimanga tithandize chakudya komanso mbewu zinazi tizipezako ndalama chimanga tikachipeza chizitupa tisamathenso kugulitsa kuti tipeze ndalama.
No one will stop floods from happening, but the damage it causes can be minimized through preparedness. This is why Kupi has installed river gauges in the area of Group Village Headman Kajitsa. The gauges have been installed along the Ntibe River, and a map showing areas that are usually affected by floods is quite visible. The walls also has phone numbers for people downstream so that anyone who notices alarming levels of water can easily call the people downstream to vacate.
When the level of the water reaches at 400, the CPC, the committee that is responsible in disseminating information from this site, is supposed to warn the CPCs that are down the stream so that they can evacuate in time to the safer places. So we developed a map and the phone numbers so that whoever is coming around, whoever is crossing along the bridge, when they notice the levels of the water are changing, they can always see the numbers on the map and communicate down the stream so that they can respond and evacuate to the safer places.
Yes, what are the levels and how do you know this is what stage and how should the people communicate?
Normally we have the system, river gauge systems from inside the water, inside the river, and then we have another one up there. When the second river gauge comes to 400, the levels of the water comes to 400, that means down the stream there will be floods. So when the level reaches at 400, they need to communicate down the stream so that they can evacuate in good time. And so in that place, when the levels of the water reaches 400, when they communicate, it takes approximately two hours for them to have the water in their houses.
But what's the recommended level of water that you always?
It's 300, that's the recommended one. But if it comes up to 350, 400, those now they're at risk now.
We took time to visit Chizui village, where floods occur, and the Civil Protection Committee took some time to demonstrate to us what they do in such scenarios. It begins with calls from the people who have noticed the alarming levels upstream.
Madzi kumene kundi wakachitsa. Okay, ndeba alipa level banji kudukudu we tikalonde yopsezo ntene lyosi. Chabwino.
Then the people downstream respond.
Hello. Bwana. Oh, Chabwino. Oh, Chabwino andu wa group komweko.
The community leader is also informed to release a megaphone to start announcing vacation before the water comes. Communities say it is always a challenging moment for the sick, elderly, and people with different levels of disability to escape. They assemble in this church. Those with injuries are treated. Communication is sent to local government authorities for further action. This is Chimavi village in the area of T.A. Maganga in the same district. Communities here have community food bank where they keep food and release it when floods occur to assist those in need.
Tomato mineri malima za kudimba chimangajo timataso kukolola ndikuika kukokwe kwa masejina timataso kuja kukangare tabwezera tsamba mine panonongeka ndi mvula chifaja ubangiri wa Kupi.
Lati yaone kuti chimanga nkhokwe iyi kusiyana ndi nkhokwe zina. Maganizo athu poona kuti tikamanga nkhokwe zina kafumba amaononga kwambiri. Sitizatha kusunga chakudya cha anthu. Ndiye tidamanga nkhokwe imeneyi kujogela pasiba utafika hapa. Basi kujogela pasi utafika hapa ni 1 meter. Utafika sojoka mbapo utafika hapa ni 1 meter. ndipo tidayimanga ndipo yathu monga mene muoneramo. Cholinga chathu nchoti tizisungiramo chakudya chomwe chimene anthu akapeza mavuto zatengera chakudya chija kukhala ngati nkhokwe yosungiramo chakudya chathu.
Apart from village and loan savings groups which have helped women increase their economic muscle, others are also doing a livestock pass program. The women in VS and L groups say when their crops fail to perform to their satisfactory due to weather conditions, they use money from the groups to start small businesses or pay school fees for their children.
Saka lezo nimavutika kwambiri chifolo mwana kuti wakhoza ku skulu zimandikanika kuti ndimulipirire oti olombuzi chiweto ndinalibe koma pano pamene ndinayamba gulu la kusunga ndikubwereketsa chiweto ndili nacho komanso mwana ndimalipirira ku skulu bwino palibe sukulu limene ndimakumana nalo ayi.
Also realizing that most of the river banks are weak today due to the disappearance of trees, and this is the more reason why rivers divert to people's homes. The program is also promoting clean energy technologies which will help minimize the use of firewood. In this village, we find people making energy-efficient stoves, and they demonstrate to the crew how they make it. They organize clay, which they keep wet for 21 days. After that, they mold something which they simply call a sausage and forcibly place it in the designed facility for making stoves. With energy, they start punching it to create a hole and later remove the clay. They also use rulers of different measurements from 20 to 30 to balance the structure. After some time, they now fit handles, pot stands, and create a hole for slotting firewood. The fresh stove is left for another 14 days to dry and later put it in a oven where it dries and becomes more solid after going through the heating process for 2 days. After that, they sell it, while some they use them domestically.
Ubwino wambaula ndiwoti umatithandiza kwathu kuno kumbali ya kuchepa kwa chilengedwe. Kumbali wa kuchepa kwa chilengedwe kwathu timagwiritsira ntchito pa nkhuni zitatu. Ndiye timagwiritsira ntchito pa nkhuni zitatu pa zinthu zochulukirapo zimene timaphikira. Maphika ndiwo, phikira nsima, mapete kwake kutengapo madzi kukhazika mbaula imene iyi. Chikata imatentha moto oti chene chilichonse chimene uziphikira chinthu chimene chimatithandiza. Nkhuni sitiwononga zambiri. Tikadula mbali imodzi mtengo ndiye timaphikira mwezi wathunthu. Tikapitanso kadwaso mtengo umodzi mbali imodzi mpaka miyezi itatu ka 6 months imene tikugwiritsa ntchito mtengo umodzi ubwino mbaula imeneyi.
Ntchito imene tikugwira pano ndiyomba mbaula. Mbaulazi tikumba pano mcholinga cha ni mmene zilili kutha kwa chilengedwe kwathu kuno. Mbaula zimenezi zili ndi ubwino umene ulipo chifukwa ndiya changu pamaphikidwe maka kwa nzathu azimayi angakhale akamatiphikira pa khomo ife amuna tili wosangalala.
Those in goat person programs are also happy because some have managed to sell the goats and they only hope for a better future.
Sogoloku ndi chembekezo zakuti mbuzi mezo zikazaswa ndizagera anthu ena fona pasida ziwiri ndizapeze kasoko anthu ena ziwiri kucholinga chakuti chitukuko chinka kusogolo kuti aliyese ziweto zikwanire zithandiza mavuto chifukwa ziweto zija zikamaswa ndiye kuti vuto limatha timatha kugulisa kavuto kukutesa.
Kasungu in the central region is one of the districts which used to be popular because of its unwavering food security track record. Most of its people rely on tobacco farming, including flue-cured tobacco, which has consumed a greater part of the forest cover in the district. One area hardly hit is Wimbe, located to the west side of the district. The development has since rendered the area prone to natural disasters. Experts say massive soil erosion, floods and storms are inevitable in such areas, not to mention drought. Talks of such natural disasters in Kasungu were unheard of in the past. Drought and floods were only synonymous with areas like Salima, Neno and others. But one wonders what has caused such a sudden downturn to a district once tipped for achieving rapid socio-economic glory. The interventions include strengthening of agricultural irrigation schemes, promotion of conservation agriculture, livestock development and village savings and loans (VS&L). Established in October 2012, the Tandizane VS&L group in the area used to be the only one before it gave birth to at least 15 others over the period. Initially, it was deemed as a women program, but now even men have joined. With 500 kwacha as a membership fee and a share price of 100 kwacha, the group reportedly shared about 400,000 kwacha in profits last year. Like in Salima district, some community members are also making energy-efficient cooking stoves, which uses less wood compared to the traditional 3-stone fires common in the villages. Sarah Zimba of Chimemwe VS&L Club in the area of TS Simlemba says a bundle fired in the rural settings goes at an average price of 40 kwacha, and it is not enough to provide for necessary heat for household cookery needs in a day if used on an open fireplace. Experts also say a lot of women in Africa die of complications related to the smoke. The Kapopo village-based Chikwanekwane VSL group currently claims to have over 1.4 million kwacha in savings, which they say will soon be shared among the membership. Several irrigation schemes have also since been developed in the district to help reinstate the district as one of the country's food basket. Like in Tiawimbe, communities in these two areas are also showing interest towards interventions. Nevertheless, the livestock sector of the project's intervention seems to be making steady inroads as communities, as expected, see instant benefits of the scheme. Under this intervention, communities are also provided with goats per household. While such interventions are visibly keen and have the power to transform, it is also important for people of Salima and Kasungu to realize their position and responsibility in looking after the environment.